Yes, welcome. You're in the right place for Fantasy Excitement. This is going to be a prep stream because God knows that I don't. You know what? This is becoming my life. Like I'm doing so many RPGs and so much new stuff is happening at once that it seems like mostly it's prep stream stuff. It's like I'm coming here to like get ready for my games, and then I'm making the game stuff happen, and then I'm going back and preparing the game. And like I honestly feel sometimes like if you if you're here, subscribe to me because you really like my insights into video games. I feel like I'm letting you down, but I'm trying. I try to play games sometimes still, but like I just have so much good RPG shit going on, and I want to share so much of that as possible. Then that's where we are. That's what happens. I get like 2 or 3 video game streams, a month maybe. If you're here for insight about the San Francisco Giants, well, the hat is the best you're going to get right now. So what do we got to do today? Again, if you are not caught up on Court of Swords and you are a spoiler-sensitive human being, this is not the place for you. This is a spoiler-focused, spoiler-heavy stream. It's going to come right after episode 105 of Court of Swords, and I'm just continuing the work that I did in the last Court of Swords GM prep. So we're continuing to build up what's going on around the new setting that we're in. And the reason why I'm having to do so many prep streams for Court of Swords is because we're in a brand new setting. Like this is a place where I've had some ideas percolating about, but have not had the opportunity to execute. And now I got to do it. And so I'm putting all of my floating idea business into form that I can use in my game. So the last time we did a prep stream like this, last week, I guess, we determined the rules of the Court of the Void. We figured out like the general stuff that I needed to know about the world. And now I have to focus in on where the players are and what they're doing. So to that end, we are engineering a Necropolis. So a Necropolis in this game, in this setting, in the Court of the Void, is, I guess we can talk about what it is first. I guess we can start right there. So what is it? And then I can talk about my inspirations for them particularly. Man, I've been reading so much of my old, like, Wraith and Exalted books and just, like not reading them, but just looking at the art. Old Wraith art is creepy as hell. Holy. But yeah, just kind of getting some ideas, getting some shit figured out, and yeah, figuring out like what is what. So we talked a little bit about what a necropolis is in the session, but we're gonna discuss it. So it's not just a city, not a fortress, though those exist in the Court of the Void, right? Those are real. It's not a city or a fortress exactly. It's the accumulated construction and the creatures that dwell in it that has been built up around a vein, strong and deep enough to be stable, right? So in the center of the necropolis, or somewhere significant, the reason that it's a necropolis is that it is built up around a vein, a permanent vein, right? Which means, as a result, it is desired in varying degrees by the Mara, right? And I think we want this one to have, I guess it's like, what is it? It's uncontrolled, contested, and probably probably outside anyone's particular purview, right? Or handling, right? Nobody in particular owns it, and it's a bit like outside. So as a result, it's a bit like, I guess we can talk about inspirations, right? Post-war Berlin is an inspiration for it. Yeah, it's like a city-state, exactly. A turbulent city-state. Yeah. So like post-war Berlin as an inspiration. Yeah, it's kind of a no man's land. Obviously Deadwood, right? Deadwood has been an inspiration for me lately, so I'm gonna use that. What other things can we use as inspiration for this? It's not huge. It's like small, medium sized Necropolis, but it's like relatively new, and it's something that the Mara are like tangling over, and that's what we'll figure out next is like the factions in this Necropolis. Bone Town. Yeah. Yeah, right. Like Gold Rush towns. I'm just trying to think if there's anything in like fiction that I could think about would be an inspiration, but I don't know that we necessarily have to like. Yeah, and I guess we can also say like it's a mash of architectural styles. The new built on the old. Various Maraic, I think is the word we used. Maraic influences clashing, and the Interzone. That's another one. Yeah. Interzone. Interzone is an old name for what was it called? Not the British sci-fi magazine. Tangier. Yeah, an international zone. Yeah, William S. Burroughs. Yes, that shit. Such as in Tangier. Yeah. Cool. Interzone, Tangier. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I don't know what we call this necropolis. This is a necropolis, but it's not the necropolis. There are many necropoli, but this is the one we're gonna go visit. So we need to know who is influencing it and kind of who lives there and what's going on. Yeah. Maybe Old Yarnum. That's a good point. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Great. I like it. Turbulent city-state, a mash of architectural styles, mash of distinct and semi-distinct cultures. And it is flush with murder hobos. Plenty of vein hunters. Come here. Oh, I figured out why. I know why, right? What's special about it? So hold on. So this area of the world is undergoing a gold rush of vein hunting because of the influence of the Necromancer King and the 10-year war. Oh, this is good. And the 10-year war against the court. The veil between the Void Court, the Court of the Void, between here, I guess here, and the real world is especially thin, but veins that appear are temporary and unpredictable. Yes, that's cool. So the idea here is, so distinct and semi-distinct cultures in the sense that like, sometimes you can clearly tell two people apart, like where they're from, what they're like, etc. But there's also districts that are just mashed up, right? You might have like Goblin Town butting right up against like the narthex of the Glorthon, but in other places you might have like Goblin Town's other barriers, other borders might blend much more easily, so you can't quite tell like, you know, that human is dressed like a goblin, but has like human behavior as well. So, yeah. Okay. So what's special about it is that this area, this province, how do we divide the void? What like, are they prefectures? Are they like protectorates? I guess the Mara are, they all call their territory different. So this area, this territory of the Court of the Void, yeah, they're like warring states, but they all call themselves something different, so that's fine. Yeah, you've entered the protectorate of, or the patienthood, or the satrap. Yeah. We'll have lots of opportunities. They'll name them different things, but we'll just call them territories for now, for our outside purposes. Cool. So that's what's special is this territory, the Necropolis. What do we want to call it? Like something kind of like like a name that the Vein Hunters would give it, right? It'll get renamed something else, but yeah, like Bone Town or right, like something a little bit like tongue in cheek. Yeah, Vein Town, the Blood Fields. I mean that'd be nearby, but like, yeah, and kind of like a sardonic. I need that's sort of a bit of a sardonic title for it, like Opportunity. That's right, the Bone Zone. Right, the Tap. It's pretty good. These are all good names for places inside, too. Like, welcome to the Bleeding Heart. I kind of like Opportunity. Welcome to Opportunity. Yeah. You know what? I like that. It's simple, and then within it, we can name a bunch of stuff like those cool names. Yeah. Welcome to Opportunity. Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Okay. So the veins that appear are temporarily and are temporary and unpredictable. Flush with murder hobos. Plenty of vein hunters come here. Lots of services for them. Cool. Okay, these are like little details about it. So like, what's going on right now? So Luke you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna grab my copy of the Codex. Luke has some good advice that I want to cover here. Don't go anywhere. Damn Luke Crane, making me get up out of my chair, get a physical book. You know, I wouldn't have this problem if there were just PDFs of this stuff, you know. Just PDFs I could refer to instead of having to get up, get my physical copy. Then I dropped my book on the floor. God damn it. Damn it, Luke. How dare you? How dare you? God damn. All right. So, hard copy achieved. I think it's in the Codex where Luke gives us the situation burning advice, and it says like, what is going on right now in the setting? And our setting is Opportunity. And it asks a bunch of questions about like, what would you do? Like, what is the current thing that is going on? What is like the unavoidable or undeniable big picture thing? Yeah. Living, breathing world. Okay. Yeah. There's so much good advice in the Codex. I really like it. It's a great book. Beliefs. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I found what I was looking for. Okay. So, what's going on right now is the Opportunity is the site of a conflict between 3 Mara, all of whom lay claim by right of force of not deserving, but like a force of by right of force, by right of territory, and by simple right that they deserve the place. This conflict is both martial. There are armed elements that clash in the streets, and cultural, like mental, basically. Like it's like they're winning hearts and minds, right? Cultural and practical. People are being bribed, power structures being built, etc. As a result, the city is dangerous, unpredictable, and its rules and protocols change constantly, depending on who is in charge and where the wind blows. Yeah. Okay. So there's like scraps in the street to take terrain and like, yeah, totally. Okay, so who the combatants, I guess. What do they call them when they like euphemistically describe the people who are responsible for a war? The belligerents or something like that? Okay. Yeah, we had talked about that in an earlier session. Yeah, it's the belligerents. I like that. So we talked about this in a previous setting. This would be a great setting for a Blades game. Totally. All right. So the current belligerents. I need three. I need three Mara. So I think obviously the Prince of Dragons. Let's make this a little bigger. What size is this? 18. And then I want to make up two more. Some kind of like bishop. Ooh. Just bumping my sheet there. Okay, the Prince of Dragons. Maybe because we introduce them, we do the like ringleader one. The one that has the court with the what do we call them? The Court of Mockery, right? With the King of Thorns, Page of Fiends. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Okay, so and then that person, the person in charge. Oh, I know. They call themselves the Fool in Verse. And then and then our last belligerent, he whose name is a paean to the black abyss, forever swirling below, hungry and waiting. Yeah, it's a good title. He's a big deal. Cool. All right. Yeah, also no, aka he whose name, or paean, forever swirling. Good. All right. So the Prince of Dragons, a Amara. It takes the form of, and they're not physically present, but we're detailing them a bit now because we haven't yet. Amara, who takes the form of, and I got to capitalize Mara, who takes the form of either a great and terrible shadow worm, a dragon of unmistakable power and rage, or of a beleaguered and fallen knight whose tabard is torn and armor rent, but who moves with a dread purpose. Cool. So there's our Prince of Dragons, and then the Fool in Verse, a jester and maker of japes, who sits atop a strict hierarchy of knights, a strict hierarchy of inverted positions, based on heaven's design, but flipped. Attended by priests of the Arcana Inverse, and who lives to mock and mimic heaven cruelly. Perfect. Okay. And then he whose name is a paean to the black abyss, forever swirling below, hungry and waiting. This guy is a bishop of the blackness, a deacon of darkness, weighing in at 645 pounds. So a bishop of the blackness, a deacon of darkness, the he whose name believes in the divinity of the void and serves what he believes to be its dark whispers. Those who serve he whose name are monks, priests, itinerants, and proselytizers of the universal end of all things, when all creation sinks into the void and is undone. So he's like a reverse Heavenite, right? Like his jam is to do the opposite of what, to do the opposite of what heaven is trying to do. Yeah. They're entropy worshippers. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the Mara, they're less like abyssals and more, I think, like the Neverborn. Yeah. But yes, similar stuff. Yeah. Spectre cultists, that kind of deal. Okay, all right. So Prince of Dragons, the Fool in Verse, and He Whose Name. So these are the belligerents, and then so like let's see, wants to. I guess we'll. Here's how we'll detail them. So go wants. What do they want, and how do they get it? Gets it by. There we go. Because that's all you really need to know, right? Give your NPCs desires, even if they're not present, and then give them ways by which they achieve their desires. Wants and means, just like John says in Blades. Yeah, methods, I guess. But let's. I want to write them as like action statements. Really, you're gonna force that capital W, huh? Damn, you autocorrect. I like lowercase letters. All right, so. The Prince of Dragon wants to seize direct control of, I keep wanting to call it obsession for men. The Necropolis opportunity. Direct control of opportunity. And add it to his domain of provinces. He is a conqueror for its own sake, who wants it mainly because he has it not. Conqueror. Okay. He will attempt to get what he wants by martial control. The knights in his service who operate here do so directly with violence. God, it's like in a Wicked Age. Have you played Wicked Age? That man, that game is so cool. So in a Wicked Age, you have what your character can accomplish. I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna take a slight tirade. I want to tell you about this game. So it's a Vincent Baker game, because of course it is. And it's for doing like Conan style, kind of like mythic storytelling. Do I have a copy of it? Maybe I don't. Oh, it doesn't look like I do. So basically when you make a roll in that game, you say what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. So like with violence, for family or whatever, right? So it's like the idea is that you get to decide. Your motivation determines how much dice you get, as much as why you do it. So I like that idea because it helps you mechanically understand your motivation, and it helps you roleplay your character when, if for love is your best stat, everything you do that you want to succeed at, you do it for love. Or if you're Bryan Adams, you do it for you, and you do everything you do in that way. Yeah, it's a cool game. There's a lot of it that's kind of like janky and busted. It is an old game, and it works better with no GM than it does, even though there is a GM. But it's pretty neat if you're looking at little sort of strange RPGs. Yeah, go and look it up. In a Wicked Age is what it's called. If you're Meatloaf, you get the most dice for doing anything except that, and you won't do that. So you just get no dice. No dice, Meatloaf. All right. So the Dragon Knight wants gets control of opportunity martially. There are knights patrolling the streets who like scrap with people, who fight. He will fight with swords and spears. His servants live to die, and they die to fight. So with violence, directly with violence, they are the primary source of martial distress here. And when they are not fighting the other Mara, they're picking fights with anyone who talks shit or looks at them wrong. Thugs pretending to nobility. Ronin, bad samurai, etc. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's what the Prince of Dragons wants. His fucking dragon knights, his samurai, are walking around, and they justify everything they do by being like, fuck you, I serve the Dragon Knight, taste my sword, and then they get robbed or whatever. Yeah, so the PCs are probably going to get in a fight with these guys. The Fool in Verse wants the vein, right? Not because of the power or riches they might derive from it, but because it may give them more access to the real world, which they need to understand the target of their scorn. The Fool in Verse is a obsessive maniac when it comes to the real world. They cannot get enough of it. They are going to be dangerous. They're going to be dangerous because if they find out the PCs are here, they will just like, God, get them, bring them to me. Like, I want them so bad. I want to put them in my menagerie. Like, look, I found these in opportunity, crawled up from a vein, and now they belong to me. Dance for me, Ramus Krill. Right? Like, this idea of like, yeah, dragging back all these things from the vein. They're vein obsessives, and they want everything that they can find. Yeah, they're like a big nerd, totally. In their original packaging, no less. Yeah, a real world otaku. Exactly. But also, like, they mock what they have, right? They want to understand it so that they can point out how stupid and awful it is. Yeah. Okay, and they get it by subterfuge and coin. They're rich and have influence much more subtle than their foes. Also, likely to be the best liked of the three. They give away, what do we call them? Dektari? I can't remember what I called the money. They give away money, hold shows and performances, and sponsor and have forever vein hunters directly, which is, I think, kind of rare. Yeah, they're like a little bit otaku, little bit Rakdos. Yeah. Cool. I like that. So this is setting up our antagonism or potentially our friends. Yeah, they're like Rakdos nerds. And then he whose name is a pay into the black abyss, forever swirling below, hungry and waiting, wants power for the abyss, right? To serve the void, and believes that this place is important to the plans of the great perpetual nothing, and as a result, wants it. I want it because I was told to want it. I had a vision, right? And I think that they get it by social control. They control minds, metaphorically and literally. And by magic. Their servants do gain significant power from the void. They are warlocks and clerics of darkness who are to a one touched by the same whispers that he whose name has heard. Yeah, totally. Cool. So like they're just powerful spellcasters. Yeah, shadow sorcerers, warlocks, clerics of darkness, that kind of thing. Yeah. Cool. Servants of the void. Okay, so those are the three sort of belligerents, and as they fight or attempt to like take over the place, I guess what else is going on? Like who else? And I think this is where we get the only other, like, obviously we have like the citizens of opportunity who came here looking for a way to live free, right? Many escaped previous Mara masters or needed to go somewhere in the Outlands. That's a thing now. Go somewhere out in the Outlands where they could hide from previous crimes. Also, vein hunters, right? Let's give them. There's like a guild, the guild of. I think vein hunters is their official. Hunters Guild of those. This will be a little bit cooler. Those who tap the vein. An organization, like an adventurers guild or whatever. An organization of semi-loyal, kind of connected vein hunters. Right, you can be an organized member of the Hunters Guild. The thing about I like this, and I realized this. You know who the vein hunters are? They're stalkers. They're stalkers from the eponymous. Like, they go into places where things are weird. They steal things they may not understand, right? And they're all a little bit weird. And I think that's actually a really cool way of looking at it. And so this town is like the nearest town to a zone. Yeah, so Roadside Picnic is a little bit of an inspiration, which I think is cool. I think probably just the citizens, the Hunters Guild, and the three, we don't have to complicate it too much, the three power structure guys. So I guess we need like significant locations. The vein itself. What is its physical location? What does it look like? And what, like, it's not claimed by anyone, but it exists. They could go to it. So probably like central location, right? Middle of town. Let's see, guarded by Dragon Knights. But also watched by the other two. Yeah, I think it's cool if it's like a massive sinkhole. I like that. A massive and deep sinkhole, which glows with the eerie light of reality, night and day, surrounded by ruins and abandoned homes. The vein creates a neighborhood nobody can live in. Okay. Dotted nearby with, I mean, I guess it's just like a kind of like, you don't go there because you can't steal. Like it's like an oil well. You could go and like scoop oil up in a bucket if you wanted to, but it's guarded so that nobody can like. They all kind of watch each other and they protect it. So it's a bit of like a de facto neutral ground, but nobody wants to be around it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the vein of opportunity. The players are fine. They'd be comfortable in it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Chernobyl, a little Chernobyl-esque, but this is ground zero, right? For weird reality radiation. Yeah, that's right. Ramus doesn't like it. Okay, so there's the vein itself. There's like a hall where the knights congregate, the base of operations for the knights. The Lodge Glorious. And I think the Lodge Glorious is the, this is the home and barracks of the servants of the Dragon Prince. It is the neighborhood surrounding it. It really annoys me. I like lowercase letters. I wish I could just turn that off. The neighborhood surrounding it is the least dangerous. That's not true. Is the most lawful. Patrolled regularly with a curfew and laws posted on every corner. And the idea here is where like, yeah, and this is the home and the barracks. This is where they hang out, and its neighborhood is like well protected and belongs to the knights. Cool. Okay. Cool. Good. And then the chapel, right? There needs to be like the chapel where he whose name is a pay-in. The chapel of voiceless song, maybe? Psalms? Voiceless psalms? The high chapel of voiceless psalms? Cathedral of voiceless psalms? I like chapel though. Let's call it a cathedral. There you go. The Cathedral Illustrious. A voiceless psalm sung into deaf ears. This is obviously home base of the priesthood of the void, who serve he whose name, and spiritual center of opportunity. A place to come and learn the truth of the void and to be blessed by its cold hand. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Oh, the Basilica Illustrious. That's even better. There we go. The Basilica Illustrious. That feels like rolls off the tongue a little better. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going with some Dark Souls vibes for some of this stuff. Yeah. Can I turn off? Automatically capitalized words. Get the fuck out of here forever. There we go. Okay, great. The Basilica Illustrious, a voice of psalms sung unto deaf ears. Please come and learn the truth of the void. Be blessed by its cold hand. A social center and meeting hall, as well as a place of worship. Like these dudes aren't necessarily just like religious wackos. They're actually like they're people who worship the void, who like come and will attend this church. So yeah. Excellent. All right. The Basilica Illustrious, the Lodge Glorious, and I guess we want to keep going on with that, like the noun adjective. The party never ending, like the party grounds, like, cause I think that the court, right? Like they hold court here. And the name of this place has to be like a mockery of the Flying Circus. Yeah, I like circus though. Circus is good. All right. So a combination circus, theater, and playhouse. I don't know the difference between a theater and a playhouse. Combination circus, theater, and I don't know, like tavern, body house. Right? Like it's a fest hall. Where the fool in verse houses servants, holds court, and performances. An all day, all night, though those things aren't really all cycles, I guess. Cavalcade of entertainment where rich vein hunters can spend their coin for drugs, drink, or a little love. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So these are the main places that I need. The players will be like, I need something like this, and then I'll get to add it to the list. I guess there's like a tavern. There's a tavern where the vein hunters like meet. They don't have like their own lodge building, but it's like a special place where they can go and the vein hunters can all go hang out. It's like a neutral ground. Every cabal or whatever, like it has one of these, right? Like the Assassin's Guild Hall but this is just an informal place where everybody knows like we don't fuck with each other here and we can get away from everything else that's going on. You have to have a membership to like get in, and something like that. Yeah. So this would be a place where you could go and like hang out. And this is the hangout of the Hunters Guild, of those who tap the vein. And it could be something like, again, kind of ironic, because I think the vein hunters named this place. So something ironic about like the corpse pile, or, oh my God. Okay, here we go. An inn and tavern that serves all but focuses on vein hunters. Run by an ancient vein hunter named Miss Tippett, who retired and left the world for the Outlands and counts herself among the first citizens. I'm going to put that in sarcastic quotation marks. Of opportunity. A meeting place. A safe... It's not safe, though. A neutral ground for vein hunters. If you can visit the tap room or get a room in the inn. But if you want to visit the back room, you need a membership in the lodge, or whatever we called them. Not the lodge, the Hunters Guild. The Covenant. Okay, cool. Great. So I've got a couple of places. I guess it wouldn't hurt to come up with some NPCs to attach to some of these factions. So let's do that. And then I'll come up with some like complications. So obviously Miss Tippett. Tippett. A tiefling. With a sort of grumpy, grandmotherly attitude, but who used to be a huge badass and might be encouraged to do so again if she had to. Okay. Yeah, used to be. Okay, so let's Miss Tippett. We could have... Oh, no, that's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, I need to add one more location. So Gray Market, an open air market where vein hunters sell their services and their weird goods. Things they've found, their weird goods found through vein hunting. A place to buy, what do we call it? Miasma? Pure or processed. They siphon it. I think miasma is what we called it. Is there another? Yeah, they called it juice. Yeah. Like reality essence. We know that it's leaks from the veins. This is the blood of heaven. Okay, we'll call it juice. Pure or processed juice. Fountain energy leaked through the veins. Man, I wonder if Ramus could use the juice to stop making those religion checks. Probably. Yeah. It's radiation. It's ambient radiation. Okay, cool. Nice. So Gray Market. And then, yeah, so NPCs. We got Miss Tippett. A fixer. We need a fixer. So basically, they and us and my audience will be introduced to the Necropolis opportunity by way of our 3 Vein Hunter friends. So if we come to this place, everyone we meet at first is going to be the result of those people. So I have to think, who do our hunters know, right? They know Miss Tippett. They know probably a fixer at the market. So let's see. Something about like having fingers in every pie. What's a metaphor for like someone who's well connected? And like a spider in the web, I think spider is so overused though. I want it to be something weirder, like a... Let's go with like something about like tentacles or like tendrils. Or I could go the opposite direction and just put it like not having anything to do with it, like somebody innocuous. I kind of like that. Okay. Mr. Nice Guy. I like it. Okay, Mr. Nice Guy and Mr. Nice Guy. That's a different guy. Mr. Nice Guy, a human market stall owner and broker of deals among the Vein Hunters. He would be played by what's his name? Gimli. John Rhys Davies. Yeah. But he'd be CG, right? Like, because everybody here is weird. Or he'd just be voiced by, because this is a cartoon. John Rhys Davies. I don't know who Miss Tippett is played by yet. But I'll figure that out as I go. Okay. Miss Tippett, Mr. Nice Guy. Oh my God, maybe they used to be like married. Oh, that would be really good. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Used to be married to Mr. Nice Guy. That's why their names sound similar like that. She was Mrs. Tippett for a while. Used to be married to Miss Tippett, but they split up. Okay, good. And now she's Miss Tippett, please. And they also, who else would they know? Someone at the Office of Advocacy. So we should talk about that in complications. Everyone in the Mara universe, the Maraverse, the Court of Swords, Court of the Void, has identification papers showing who they belong to, Mara-wise. Everyone should be accounted for. If you don't have papers, anyone can come along and claim you. The players, the PCs, of course, do not have such identification. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're papers. I'm going to put a sarcastic quotation mark some here. Like, everyone who serves the Dark Doctor has, like, an extra tooth or something, right? They're all accounted for. So yeah, okay. Yeah, you could make paper. You chop a tree down and you pulp and you make the paper. The tree grows back. In fact, it's sustainable. Paper is much more sustainable in this world. You don't have to grow the whole tree. Motherfucker just comes back. All right. So, Mr. Nice Guy, Miss Tippett, efficient is the word I'm looking for here, I think, right? Someone who works in performs religious services or ceremonies. Yep. Assistant 24, Officiant 24-89B. A Void Genasi. Actually, here, we'll make them a tiefling. A tiefling born into a bloodline of some kind of machine Mara, whose children all are part of a lesser hive mind, and who engineered much of the identification protocols, and who all serve as like clerks in the Office of Identification. Boom. So they know Officiant 24-89B. Yeah, they're not quite Warforged because they're tieflings. They just think like machines because they're all children of the same Mara. Yeah, that's right. So they're humans that act like robots, whereas Warforged are robots that act like humans. Yeah. So that's just how their brain works. They just think mechanically, and they are important here because they are an old friend of who should they know? Little Action? Old friend of the business. The business would have this kind of connection. An old friend of the business. Perfect. Okay. How do children work? They don't. People don't get pregnant. Babies don't happen. It just doesn't. Yeah, like a mentat. Totally. Mentats. Yeah, you can't get pregnant. You can't have babies. It just doesn't happen in this, I was gonna say part of the world, but this world. There's a finite number of people, and That's all we'll ever get. Yeah. What do they eat? Food. Weird food. Yeah. They eat like meat from strange animals. They eat plants like we do. They're just weird. They're weird animals and weird food. No, you don't have to eat. You just suffer. Right? Like you won't die. You'll just suffer the effects of starvation. So your body will like wither away. And if you die, you just come back still starving. Death is something that this world doesn't have as a pressure valve, right? You can suffer forever here. Cool. All right. Yeah, I like that. They know, Gun Princess knows, obstinate bug fucker. Owner of a small independent slug farm on the outskirts. Human, constantly covered in mud and larvae, likes insects better than people, but thinks Gun Princess isn't so bad. Yeah, that's the name of the person, obstinate bug fucker. maybe they don't know their own name. Cool. And they'll be a human as well. This would be a good place for the crawl, I think, somewhere in this the Court of the Void. Yeah. Obstinate bug fucker. All right. So that farming business, they collect spent larvae and harvest the bugs from the larvae. They don't grow the bugs, but larvae, like you can bring your spent shells back and you give them to this guy and he tends them to grow them, like fix them back into slugs that you can shoot. That's why she caught the larva. Sorry, I didn't mention any of that in my last prep stream. The unspent, yeah, it'll regenerate and she's got to keep it in her bag because it'll regenerate and get pissed. And then you can't fire it. So she's got to take it back to Bugfucker, and he's got to, like, fix it up for her. There's a prep. Basically, load the shell. Ha. Because it's shells, because they're bugs. Yeah, exactly. There's a process, and old Bugfucker knows how to do it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. And then... probably we need somebody who serves... the 3 Mara, right? So like infinitely polished scale of loyalty. An infinitely polished scale of loyalty, a Dragon Knight, and garrison commander of the someone who would serve the Dragon Knight. Garrison commander of the Lodge Glorious. Okay. In case I need, like, in case somebody asks, like, who's in charge? And then we also need who runs the Divine Comedy. Remember, they structure things like a court. So there's like the Knight of... the Page of Keg Stands. Yeah, right. I think we need to know, I guess, the Knight of Opportunity. These are all like the Knight, the Page, yeah, of Opportunity, right? The Knight, the Page, the King, and the Queen of Necropolis Opportunity. 4 players in the, what do we call that dude? The Fool in Verse, yeah. And the Divine Comedy, who run things there for the Fool in Verse. Okay, cool. Yeah, they don't actually need names because they're just the knight, the page, the king, and the queen. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then yeah, and their roles are reversed. So the knight, a mewling whelp, weak and sad. The page, a brutal monster, huge and terrible. The king, a young girl, and the queen, an old man. He's just an old queen of Necropolis Opportunity. I love them. I love the four of them. They're great. The page is like a huge man baby, and the knight is like this kind of powdered, like, oh my, oh dear. And then the king is just like a little girl, and the queen is just like, yeah, a super old man. He's like a playwright, and John Mulaney. Yes. Oh my God, King of Griffins. That's totally what I was thinking. Yeah, he's totally that guy. Yeah. And then yeah, and then I love it. That's totally who I was thinking of. That's perfect. Nicely done. So yeah, this is going to be the thing. And yeah, like an old man, there's no aging, but they you can take on forms. You are either made that way, but I imagine that there are people who like redesign people. They fuck with you, and they can make you a different shape. Yeah, and I guess actually let me put that in the people can be reshaped, reformed, and redesigned by a guild of flesh crafters. It's like lens crafters, but flesh. Who can make permanent, well, semi-permanent, respawn resistant alterations to the body. How do they fucking do it? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when you die, you are brought back as like something different, but we're not totally sure. I think that's how we get the Genasi. The Genasi are just like crystallized humans. If you're a tiefling, you're always a tiefling because you were made to serve the Mara when the world of the Void was created, when the Great Flash appeared. Yeah, and that's totally, they're Tzimisce. They have vicissitude. That's totally that. Yeah, this is the part of the game where we get the most White Wolf. Which I think is cool. I'm into it. It's nice getting to use some of these old books that I have kicking around to just fuck with your sliders. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, probably gotta soak them in vein juice. That's a good, yeah. Who can make using the juice. Oh, yeah. Okay, so maybe, here we go. Here's a character we can make. We can have a flesh crafter. Let's see. Aorta? How did I spell that right? Where did I leave my aorta? A flesh crafter who the friend vein hunters owe a great deal of juice to. It is just, oh, there's no E. Okay. Cool. A strange human with extra arms, eyes, ears, and other appendages who belongs to a school of flesh crafters called the Maximalists. You can understand why. Why did that? Oh, there we go. Appendages. So he does his best work on himself, and he is a maximalist who believes more organs make me more human. Yeah, he's a self-inflicted flesh golem who just is like, ooh, I'll give you 20 coins for both your eyes. No, how about 8 for one of them. Yeah. So he just wants more shit. He probably speaks with multiple voices. Yeah. And they owe him some juice. Obviously they can't. They don't have enough to pay. All right, and I need to throw in one more. Oh yeah, and he would totally want to buy the players. He's gonna offer them a deal. These NPCs offer them a deal to be like, sell me that half fork you have. I've never seen a fork before. Give it to me. I want its skin. Its muscle structure is so good. I want it. And I want that one's legs. I don't need the rest of him. Just give me his legs. He'll get them back. Yep. Cool. I like it. So there's a flesh crafter. We got the knight. We have the dragon knight's servant. We have the little court. I need one more. Somebody who serves the the high priest. So I need like kind of a Catholic sounding title. Not the abbot, but this is where we get to get kind of like Western religion into the game in terms of absorbing the trappings. Yeah, like pontiff is a good one. Catholic titles. Prior. This is Buddhism. No, Christianity. Catholics. Here we go. Metropolitan bishop. Ooh, look at that guy. He's so metropolitan. Cardinal. Chancellor. Presbyter. He's definitely not the Pope. Cardinal is a good one. Coadjutor. Deacon. Deacon's nice. Vicar. Canon. He literally has one for an arm. I think Deacon is good. Yeah, let's go with Deacon. Okay, the Deacon of Blood and Ash, fallen from his sight into dark, fallen from his sight into shadow in the Outlands. It's the Retributor and kneeler before the altar. Here we go. The Icar of Vicar. So I think that so let's put AKA here. So AKA short form is Fallen from Sight or Deacon of Blood and Deacon of Blood and Ash. AKA I'm actually gonna have to italicize these so that I can tell what's a sentence and what's a name. Also known as Kneeler or Neil. Perfect. Oh, don't mind him. That's just Neil. Derisively, right? If you're like, they worship, they follow Neil. Don't worry about them. The Kneeler. Okay, Deacon of Blood and Ash, yada yada yada, who is the high priest of the Basilica Illustris. Perfect. All right, so there's some NPCs we can play with. Complications, they don't have any papers. Multiple parties within the Necropolis want them for their flesh, their presence, want to kill them or capture them for a Mara Zoo. They're strangers in a strange land, and everyone who finds out will want them. Their new friends haven't decided what they think of these people. A big enough bribe or offer of support might sway them to sell the PCs off. Is the Deacon paid by Max von Sydow? Fuck yeah, it is now. Fuck yeah. Awesome. That's a great choice. Okay. They don't understand the world they're in yet, nor the rules thereof. The PCs are likely to offend or upset someone more powerful than they are, which could lead to trouble or danger for them, depending on who it is. Yeah, it's like we're zooming the circle in, right? We start with, welcome to this brand new world. Here's a bunch of shit about the world. Welcome to the Necropolis. Here's some stuff about the Necropolis. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with your world? Like, let's look at what their goals were when we ended the last session, right? Like, there's a bunch of interpersonal goals, right? Confront and interrogate my father, which Yota is just keeping that. Reconcile with Yota. I don't need to do anything. Find a way to escape the void. Find a way back to our own realm. Find a way to overcome my fear. So for the goals, I can scare Berg, give Berg things to overcome, and I can just put obstacles between them and a way to their own realm. So I guess they want a way home, right? They want a way home. Yeah, goals. Goals is the thing. So they want a way home, which would require, as we talked about before, access to a vein powerful enough to sustain the ritual to keep it open and make a window out of a door. So they need 1, a place to do the thing. 2, someone who knows the ritual for the thing. 3, something to empower the ritual itself. The magical MacGuffin that makes it work. There you go. Yota's dad is not in this plane. No, he's still home. So this is what they need to do that. This is how they need to get home. They're also here to survive and avoid trouble with local power, right? They're also trying to potentially, and I guess, like, I don't like thinking of how they're going to solve the problem. I like just putting it in front of them. But if I had to kind of ponder over what that might be like, I would say that probably, like, there might be an opportunity here for them to become vein hunters themselves because they need to make money to buy the thing and to hire the person. And then they need to sneak into a powerful enough vein, which is the one that is here. So I guess, like, keep any one Mara from taking control of the vein, which would dramatically reduce the likelihood they'd get access to it. Alternately, I guess they could hunt down and find an alternate but powerful vein before it gets claimed. That's also an option. Yeah. And it's up to them how they want to do that. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm excited. All right. So let me copy all of this stuff. Copy all this stuff over. And place it right here under my Court of the Void notes. Doop. Make sure these are visible. Did I make a character? Is this a character? You're a character. Get the fuck out of here. Delete. Handout. Here we go. I was like, why is this more complicated than it was before? And this is Necropolis Opportunity. All right. Sick. It goes in my Court of the Void folder. Cool. Welcome to the city. Court of the Void. Perfect. That's it. I'm ready. This is a short one. I didn't need to do too much prep to get this going. I really just needed to sit down and talk about like what the Necropolis might look like. And I didn't want to go in totally blind. Like I could have improvised all of this stuff in the moment, but I didn't want to have to. I'm sure that the players will throw a wrench in the works as soon as they get into town. Or they might just be like, we're not going to town. In which case, what am I going to do, huh? Nothing. I'm not going to do shit. So, all right, that'll do her. I think I am prepared for our next episode of Court of Swords. They'll just kill everyone or not speak to anyone. You got to be prepared for this stuff. Like, they're just players. That's how it goes. Thanks for coming, everybody. This will conclude my streams for today. There will be another live episode of this Court of Swords action on Tuesday at the usual time. Also on Tuesday, the Patreon Q&A. So if you're a patron of Roleplay and you have a question for me or for JP about any of the stuff Patreon related, definitely jump over to the Patreon and submit that. I think JP's got a question for him up. And then also more GM stuff. If you're not sick of me telling you about my campaigns, come back tomorrow morning for a sneak preview and GM prep of the first level of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We're going to be looking through the beginning of that adventure. I'm going to be doing it on twitch.tv/roll20 app, but I'll host it right here. Definitely pop in and check that out. We're going to be taking a look at it, and I'm going to be getting ready for Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is starting on Monday. So tabletop RPGs abound. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you next time.